A gadget is a small tool such as a machine that has a particular function, but is often thought of as a novelty. Gadgets are sometimes referred to as gizmos. Gizmos in particular are a bit different than gadgets. Gadgets in particular are small tools powered by electronic principles. History. The origins of the word gadget trace back to the 19th century. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, there is anecdotal evidence for the use of gadget as a placeholder name for a technical item whose precise name one can't remember since the 1850s, with Robert Brown's 1886 book Spun Yarn and Spindrift, a sailor boy's log of a voyage out and home in of China, T-clipper containing the earliest known usage in print. The etymology of the word is disputed. A widely circulated story holds that the word gadget was invented when Gadget, Gauthier and CIE, the company behind the repoussé construction of the Statue of Liberty, made a small-scale version of the monument and named it after their firm. However, this contradicts the evidence that the word was already used before, in nautical circles, and the fact that it did not become popular, at least in the USA, until after World War I. Other sources cite a derivation from the French cachette, which has been applied to various pieces of a firing mechanism, or the French gaget, a small tool or accessory. The October 1918 issue of Notes and Queries contains a multi-article entry on the word gadget. H. Tapley Soper of the City Library, Exeter, writes, "A discussion arose at the Plymouth meeting of the Devonshire Association in 1916 when it was suggested that this word should be recorded in the list of local verbal provincialisms. Several members dissented from its inclusion on the ground that it is in common use throughout the country, and a naval officer who was present said that it has for years been a popular expression in the service for a tool or implement, the exact name of which is unknown or has for the moment been forgotten. I have also frequently heard it applied by motorcycle friends to the collection of fitments to be seen on motorcycles. His handlebars are smothered in gadgets refers to such things as speedometers, mirrors, levers, badges, mascots, and attached to the steering handles. The jigger, or short rest used in billiards, is also often called a gadget, and the name has been applied by local plate layers to the gauge used to test the accuracy of their work. In fact, to borrow from present-day army slang, gadget is applied to any old thing. The usage of the term in military parlance extended beyond the Navy. In the book Above the Battle by Vivian Drake, published in 1918 by D. Appleton and Co. of New York and London, being the memoirs of a pilot in the British Royal Flying Corps, there is the following passage. Our ennui was occasionally relieved by new gadgets. Gadget is the Flying Corps slang for invention. Some gadgets were good, some comic and some extraordinary. By the second half of the 20th century, the term gadget had taken on the connotations of compactness and mobility. In the 1965 essay, The Great Gizmo, the architectural and design critic Rainer Banham defines the item as a characteristic class of U.S. products. Perhaps the most characteristic is a small self-contained unit of high performance in relation to its size and cost, whose function is to transform some undifferentiated set of circumstances to a condition nearer human desires. The minimum of skills is required in its installation and use, and it is independent of any physical or social infrastructure beyond that by which it may be ordered from catalog and delivered to its prospective user. A class of servants to human needs. These clip-on devices, these portable gadgets, have colored American thought and action far more deeply suspect than is commonly understood. Other uses. The first atomic bomb was nicknamed the Gadget by the scientists of the Manhattan Project, tested at the Trinity site. Application gadgets. In the software industry, gadget refers to computer programs that provide services without needing an independent application to be launched for each one, but instead run in an environment that manages multiple gadgets. There are several implementations based on existing software development techniques, like JavaScript, form input, and various image formats. The earliest documented use of the term gadget in context of software engineering was in 1985 by the developers of Amigos, the operating system of the Amiga computers. It denotes what other technological traditions call GUI widget, a control element in graphical user interface. This naming convention remains in continuing use since then. The X11 Windows system, Intrinsics, also defines gadgets and their relationship to widgets. The Gadget was a windowless widget which was supposed to improve the performance of the application by reducing the memory load on the X server. A gadget would use the windowed of its parent widget and had no children of its own. It is not known whether other software companies are explicitly drawing on that inspiration when featuring the word in names of their technologies, or simply referring to the generic meaning. The word widget is older in this context. In the movie Back to School, from 1986 by Alan Mehta, there is a scene where an economics professor, Dr. Barbie, wants to start for educational purposes a fictional company that produces widgets.